a lot of people from India are looking or want a job in USA. Is this
Yeah, yeah.
something possible? And if yes, then what's the roadmap, or how's the roadmap? How the roadmap looks like, and what are the
Yeah.
prerequisites, or what are some things that they need to work upon in order to get that? Because and you must be you. There
Yeah.
must not be a single day in your life in which there's no person from India reaching you out to get a job in USA, right?
Yeah, I get that a lot. Whether it's India or Europe or the Philippines, but India more than
Mm-hmm.
others um, are asking for that. And it's not really a space that I play in because I have never in 5 years had a client say, Chris, we want to recruit someone from India to the US. We'll sponsor their visa. We'll take care of getting them over here. We'll take, we'll do all that. That's a lot to ask, right? And so they'll just try to find a U.S. citizen or H-1 that is already here to be able to sponsor or whatever. So from a direct relationship standpoint, I don't those opportunities. I don't know if they even exist, right? But if you are someone in India looking for an opportunity to come to the U.S., a couple of things come to mind. If you're currently working for an employer that has offices in both India and the US, and you've already put some time in to that employer, let's say a few years in, can you see if there's a transfer opportunity to be able to come to the US and work, right? And you may have to ask 10 times before it actually goes through, but if you're dedicated to the position, you're dedicated to the company, you have some loyalty there, having to ask every couple months to see if an opportunity happens to come about, that could be one way. Um, the other option is to come to school here on your master's, right? And then after your master's, you have OPT, right? And then you have your
What's
OPT for I think
OPT?
2 to 3 years after graduate. Optical practical, so I think it's
Something like
option practical
internship.
training. It's exactly like an internship. But after you graduate from the U.S., if you're a foreign student, you get I think it's 2 years with an extension for a third year to work on OPT in order to be basically work for an employer in the U.S. without getting sponsorship, right? So the employer will take you on and pay you a salary. You're basically an employee, right, for 2 to 3 years on this OPT status before you need a valid H-1 work status to work here after that. Okay. Again, I'm not United States Customs Immigration Services, but this is how I understand that it works. So that's another option. And that's an option that tend to work out for most people, right? So being able to get to school here on a master's degree, and then from there, be able to work in an OPT type of setup. Or the TCS, the Cognizants, the Wipros of the world. There's a lot of folks in the US that have worked for those companies and also have transferred from India to the US or have worked for those companies after they finished their master's degree in the US as well. So that's another option. The other option is get married to a U.S. citizen or green card holder in the U.S., right? Which will make you eligible to work in the U.S. as well. So that's an option that I don't want to ignore. I'm not sure if that's the right option to be able to choose, but I know that it happens. And I know people that have done it before, so I know it's a valid approach, maybe not the most legal approach to take, but it is a approach. Um, yeah, so it's hard, Shrey. I get it and I understand it, and it's just not there's not really one particular path that
Mm-hmm.
individual can take to find success. But I think that the masters, I see more people
Opting for.
finding success than others. Yeah.
And have you seen this third option happening? Have you came across a situation in which someone married someone who is a US citizen just to get a job in US?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of times those are arranged marriages, right? So they're arranged marriage,
Mm.
and the individual was from India, then he came to the U.S., and he or she had been here for 15 years, and now a green card holder or USC, and they have an arranged marriage, and it's someone back in India, and they come back, and they're a married couple now, and then there's a certain status I think that when that happens too, that the individual, the spouse is in, but I know they're legally able to work under those conditions as well. Um, and not to get too down into the black market, but I know there's services that are out there that will also, there's third party services that I've heard about. I've never pay any attention to them, that would actually you pay a service to get you married to come over to the. And again, I'm not
Really?
sure. Obviously, it's not legal, and I think you'll probably end up if you've got found out about, you get deported,
There are some
and I'm
legal
sure
hassles
you
that you
may have
face.
some financial penalties. Yeah, you can go just imprisonment. There's just a lot that goes on to that situation, but I've heard that it happens, something like that.